So the Redmi 13c is actually an entry budget friendly device from Redmi, and it actually comes with a very striking design as well as price. So let's start off with what we get in the box, and right out of the box we get a 10 watt charger, which is the white brick, looks nice. We get a USB type C cable, we get a SIM ejector tool, and a user manual. So as a budget device, obviously it's going to have some downsides or some shortcomings, and we'll talk about everything right here in this video. My variant is actually the 6 gig RAM paired with 128 gigs of storage. And let's start off with the strongholds of the Redmi 13c. So the first stronghold here is actually the design, and starting off with the rear, I actually have the midnight black variant here, and it looks way better in person, trust me on that. So from the rear, we actually have a matte finish here with a glossy camera bump. We have a mono speaker setup, USB type C charging port obviously, and one microphone port as well. From the top, we actually have the 3.5 audio jack here, and we have our power button serving as a fingerprint reader as well. So this is actually it for the 13c when it comes to the design, and personally I'm a big fan of the matte finish with the midnight black here. I know of the green, which is actually glossy, it doesn't come with the matte finish, and I'm happy I got the midnight black variant here. Moving on to the screen, this is where the Redmi 13c actually screams budget device. So this is actually a very tall phone. It stands at a 6.7 inch tall, and it actually comes with a 720p display. Yes, so the Redmi 13c is actually a 720p IPS LCD display, and if you peep, you would actually see a few pixels here and there. So we have a U notch for the selfie camera, few thick bezels, and we have a chin at the bottom as well. With 600 nits of peak brightness, using the Redmi 13c outdoors might be a bit of an issue, but indoors it's more than enough, and it's okay for everyday usage. But I have good news as well. So the Redmi 13c actually comes with a 90Hz refresh rate screen, and out of the box I just set mine to 90Hz straight. I am not using 60Hz for any reason whatsoever, and that's some good perk we actually got with the screen, as well as Gorilla Glass protection. So moving on to software, so the Redmi 13c comes with Android 13 out of the box with MIUI 14 as well. So talking of OS updates, we'd have to wait and see, but with security updates, I actually got a security update last night, and that's good to know. We'll be getting a few security updates here and there, but talking of OS updates, we just have to wait for Redmi to see how things go with the 13c. With the Redmi 13c's beastie size, it actually comes with a 5000 mAh battery, as well as a 10 watts charging brick as well. So fear not, it actually supports 18 watts fast charging, and the battery life here is great. And mind you, I have it set to 90Hz, and it still holds up. It can take me through the entire day, and I don't have any issue with the battery. So I know some people might opt for the 18 watts, but I would still stick with my 10 watts. I'm not ready to spend any extra cash on this phone, and I think the 10 watts is also a plus. Some phones don't actually ship with charging bricks, and at least I have a charging brick in mine. I'll keep it. Finally, let's talk cameras. So on the rear, it actually comes with a triple camera setup. We have the 50 megapixel main shooter here, we have a 2 megapixel macro camera, and we have a 0.8 megapixel depth sensor. So with the other two, with the macro and the depth cameras, we are not actually going to be using those two here. We're actually going to be using the 50 megapixel sensor here, and that is actually what you would be using 90% of the time. On the front, we actually have an 8 megapixel selfie camera here, and let's move on to pictures. Okay, so with pictures, portrait mode actually disappointed me here. There were times some place would be in focus and some place wouldn't be in focus at all. But in broad daylight, the 13c actually gives some really nice pictures. The colors are not way too off. You still get that warmth feel with the Redmi devices, as you can see with my hand. So let's talk about night photos as well. So as you all know, I'm a big fan of night photos, and the Redmi 13c was okay, but I noticed colors were actually washed out. They felt washed out. So we lose a lot of details when it comes to the night photography. Obviously, we have a smaller sensor with this phone here, and we shouldn't be expecting more details when it comes to night photos. So with video, I actually shot a few video. I met these very interesting people on campus, Tell me what you think about the video.
When there's bad sound, the human brain is tuned such a way that
automatically
you
won't
it's
enjoy
quite
the
simple
video.
inside it. This is thread PVC pipe,
Ah, okay.
and it does the same thing. But ideally, it's better to use rubber bands because sound waves need bands are better. They break up that possibly the wave format that travels across.
Okay.
So the mic, you see, realize with all those, the mic always needs to be suspended in such a way that it interferes with the wave traveling up because there's a medium. Once there's a solid medium, the wave will travel through and distort your sound. So the threads or the bands will break it up, like it's basically suspended.
Leave your thoughts down in the comment section. But I also noticed the video wasn't really bright. It actually had some dark spots, overexposed background. If you look up in the sky, you can see the sky is actually blown out and overexposed. But don't forget, this is an entry-level device, and I'd say the cameras are quite solid for now. The camera software too is one thing I actually liked about the device. It wasn't actually packed with a lot of features like other Android devices. It comes with a very subtle camera software setup, few modes to move around, and it's easy to actually navigate as well. So with the camera, I'd say it's quite good. I'll give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed my time with the camera, and don't forget you can also shoot with a 50 megapixel mode as well. For more details, do that during the day and don't do it in the night. Selfies are also good as well, but don't expect too much from this phone. With the 8 megapixel camera here, don't expect too much, and it still have issues with the exposure in the sky. It's just blown out like that, but it's okay. And as I said earlier, this is an entry-level device. So now let's move on to performance. So the 13C actually comes with the MediaTek Helio G85. Mine is actually with the 6 gig RAM variant here, but for the entry-level device, it's solid and it's a very good chip as well. I still got some few hiccups by just scrolling with Wi-Fi. I still had a few hiccups with the 90 Hz refresh rate, and it was smooth, but it wasn't actually the smoothest. There were times it would just pause and break and just continue scrolling. Or you should actually expect some medium to low gaming, and don't be expecting huge performance. Just keep it low and the phone will just take you through your games without any issues. So that's it for the Redmi 13C. I actually enjoyed using this device. So what I really enjoyed about it was actually the design. I love the midnight black color here. It looks nice and very superb. As I said earlier, it looks better in hand than on screen. It looks way better in hand as well. I had fun with the camera as well. Yes, I had fun with the camera. With the raw photo mode, it was cool. I would say don't mess with the portrait and night modes as well, but the photo mode is just cool. The camera software is also cool. The native camera software is also cool. It's not actually jam-packed with a lot of modes. It's just simple. You just choose your portrait, your night mode, 50 megapixel main and mode, and you're good to go. So that's it for the Redmi 13C, and I'll see you guys later. Au revoir.